edition of the beautiful roundtable event with the most amazing stressed out women on the planet and in cat health. Thank you, ladies, for joining us so much.
Because this is a holiday edition, there might be new folks joining. So could we start with just a little intro of everyone, and then we're going to kick it over to our Zen master, Sal. So Pam, we'll start with you.
Well, hello. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Happy Hanukkah to everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. We are keeping it real. Everybody here has gone through their own little stress, the holiday season stuff. And so we're just going right along with everybody. And the timing of this event couldn't be better because we know that everybody struggles at some level through the holidays. It's not exactly, bed of roses. And our cats pick up on that energy as well. So thank you guys for joining us today. I am Pam with Purrrfectly Holistic, and I am a holistic health coach for cats. And just so excited to be back with you guys.
Oh, I love you.
We're so glad you're here. We needed you. We all need you.
I wish you guys could have been privy to the couple of minutes right before we went live. We've had some fun stuff going on. Julianne, a short intro from you.
Thank you, ladies. And again, I echo what Pam said. Really thrilled to be here with you all. We are all passionate about supporting cats and their cat mums and cat dads. So my mission is to give cats a voice, and I am an energy practitioner, behaviorist. So I do a mixture of the spiritual and energetic side. I do cat chakra cleanses, animal communication, and I also help with behavior modification and environment enrichment. And basically, I bring it all together to help people connect with their cats, to understand their cats, and to make the kind of human and cat relationship be the best that it can be. So that's what I do, and that's why I'm here to speak with you gorgeous ladies about anxiety and how it influences us and our fur babies.
Yes, it does.
Yes. Dr. Katie Woodley.
Hi, everyone. And my view looks a little different because we had some stressors. So, once again, being tested a little bit. Can you hear me?
It's like robotic.
A little bit.
Oh, no.
Don't.
No.
You sound like you're underwater.
This is where we take deep breaths. Am I still underwater?
Yeah.
Oh, that's exciting.
Is it completely plugged in?
Mm-hmm. It is. Let me try again.
It was perfect right before.
It was perfect.
How has that happened?
Is it bad?
We can understand you.
Yeah.
Continue.
So I'm Dr. Katie Woodley, the doctor underwater. I'm actually founder, holistic veterinarian, and founder of the Natural Pet Doctor. Obviously, I have a sense of humor to get me through stressful times. But I specialize in Chinese herbal medicine, food therapy, acupuncture, and emotional health is actually one of the pillars that we teach in a lot of our online programs that we have, because it is essential to recognize and understand and be aware of, because it can play such a big part in your cat's lives and also our lives. So really excited to be here. You want to learn more information, just head to thenaturalpetdoctor.com, where I don't always sound like I'm underwater.
Not usually, but
Kind of a nutcracker.
Yes, it is.
So today, guys, we want to talk about how the holiday stress affects us, and give you guys some tips that we need to follow ourselves on how to reduce that holiday stress, and also how that stress affects our cats, and how our cats and some tips on how to help our cats during the holidays as well, which is basically help ourselves.
Yeah, I love that you got a color, Dr. Katie, on emotional well-being for our pets, because I think it's something that we don't necessarily think about. But like we were talking right before coming live, I think the holidays have a way of like bringing that Princess and the Pea story back to all of us, where maybe it was in the middle of June, we could handle things that are going on, feel more manageable, but the holidays somehow can make little things even much more stressful. And then that does completely trickle down to the whole environment in our home.
Yeah, and I think too, do I still sound like I'm...
God bless America!
Here's Kiwi also. So just
Try
as
why
my
don't you get
cat.
the headphones out and see if we can hear you.
I
See if
know
that
it's gonna reverberate though. Are you getting an echo?
Not yet.
Not
No.
yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Okay, we're gonna try it. Here we are, Christmas miracles. I don't know what I was gonna say, but I'm grateful right now that this is working. So, but you know, I think in terms of like your emotional health side, like a lot of people don't realize the impact that it can have on the rest of the body. This is why it is one of our pillars of health, because it has so many other effects on the body itself and can create inflammation. And it's so easily missed because now we live in a world where like stress and anxiety are kind of like the new normal. And we want to change that. Like we all deserve to have lives that are less stressful, where we have the tools and the abilities to like ground ourselves and to take those deep breaths and like pass that on to our cats and help them feel more grounded too. And so I'm really excited about this talk because every single one of us comes at this with like a slightly different approach, but like similar themes throughout. So super excited to talk about it.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. So Pam,
Yes.
tell us a little bit about holiday stress in your home and how you deal, or stress in general, how you deal with stress and how you might see it in your cats.
And we do think that Pam is dealing with stress better than all of us this morning.
Does.
So we're going to let you kick this off.
Well, I wanted to start by just letting you guys know I was talking to one of my mentors the other day and about cat stuff. And she made a good point and just a good reminder that the body doesn't distinguish between the sources of the stress. It just responds to stress in the same way. So it could be physical stress, it could be emotional stress. The cortisol levels still rise. You still have all the emotional stuff that comes up. And it doesn't, I think it's just fascinating. And it's interesting to remember that the body doesn't go, oh, it's because of the food. Oh, it's because of the dog. Oh, it's neutral. It just says, okay, it's stress. Here's a stress response. Here I go, So therefore, with that in mind, we can just remember that stress can come from a lot of different sources. It can come from our own family dynamics, if you will, getting around people that we haven't seen in a year. There's always someone in the family that's that one person that everybody just goes, I mean, it's family. What do we say? We love them, but sometimes there's just some friction there. It can be from just being out of our routines when we have people over, when there's more hustle bustle, there's decorations, there's fun stuff to get into as a cat, there's foods that maybe we're not normally having around that now we have around. So we have to be mindful of what they're eating and what they're not getting into, obviously, for health reasons. It could be plants. It could be just like you guys, the lights, the tree, all the stuff that our cats view as, oh, this is exciting. What is this? And do I need to spray it? Do I need to put my scent on it? Do I need to bite it and taste it? I mean, that's how they explore their world, is through their mouth. A lot of times their nose and their mouth. So there's just all of that. I've been very lucky this year, now that it's just the three of us. So it's very quiet and I don't have all the normal stress. I am hosting Christmas for family members, but it's just for primarily a day, and my mom's coming out. So it's going to be, pretty quiet overall. I'm very fortunate and very grateful that these cats are so adaptive and not as much stress triggered, unless it's a cat in spirit that's visiting, which is happening right now.
Oh wow! But isn't it interesting though?
It's the ghost of Christmas.
It's the ghost. I'm telling you, I've got 2 in here today that have shown up.
The ghost of Kitty Past.
The ghost of Kitty Past.
Yeah. But it's interesting that it does seem like around the holidays, like Adrienne was saying, we have typical stressors that happen all the time, but there's something about around the holidays that make us feel like we should be relaxing, we should be rejoicing. And those same stressors that in June we might handle just fine, during the holidays, it just seems like
so much more pressure.
Yeah, there's more pressure.
Yeah, and I agree with that. And I think just from a societal perspective, people expect you to go out and put up the decorations and go out and buy the gifts. And it's just that expectation that maybe we put on ourselves because we think it's the norm and everybody else is doing it, so we have to do it. And for a lot of people, especially this year, there's a lot of financial stress. There's a lot of people who are struggling financially, and so they may feel extra pressure to need to go out and buy those gifts that they for their loved ones or whatever, but they're really struggling financially. So if they, it's like 6 one way, half a dozen another. If I don't buy the gifts, I'm really going to feel bad. But if I do buy the gifts, I'm going to really be in debt, Right. So I think at the end of the day, you have to come back to being true to who you are, and if people don't get that, that's their problem. You know what I mean? You can't control what people think. You can't control what people do. You can only control your reactions and look at your motives and look at your heart, and find ways to show appreciation in different ways, maybe than just spending a lot of money on people and trying to feel like you have to measure up to the Griswolds, because we don't.
I don't know who that is.
So
you don't know who that is?
No.
Chevy Chase.
Is it a movie?
No.
It's a movie.
The Christmas, what's it
Like
called?
Kate.
Christmas Vacation?
Yeah.
Oh, National Lampoons.
Oh,
National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Mhm.
I'll make a note to watch it.
Oh,
Funny.
it's a classic. It's funny. Mhm.
Actually, that might be a great stress reducer.
Yes.
I could do with a few of those.
Pop some popcorn, watch some funny movies. Absolutely. Great way to de-stress. And your cats will just sit on the couch and snuggle with you. Even better.
Yeah, okay.
Why is that funny?
Because they're not
Yeah,
going
okay.
to snuggle with her on the couch.
Yeah, no.
Oh, the couch.
Not as long as they're not peeing on the couch.
Indeed.
Yeah.
I think Pam makes a good point there. Like, I was messaging a friend the other day and I said, I feel like I should be joyful. I should be happy. I should be getting presents. I should be feeling excited about Christmas Day. I, should be enjoying writing Christmas cards and things. And, previous years I have, I love Christmas. This year I've got a change of circumstance. So it's all a bit different for me. And I was saying to the ladies before we joined, it's a very different year. Those shoulds are putting a lot of pressure on me to feel a certain way. And I've actually taken down some of my decorations and bizarrely, it felt like I took a pressure kettle off the hob, instantly just taking them down in one room made me feel better. So I think, like you said, Pam, it's important to understand what do we need, because we will affect our cats. The last few weeks I've been feeling incredibly stressed, not just because it's Christmas, but because Christmas, as Jay said, was putting a layer of pressure on top of normal things. And Leo's been coughing more. His asthma's been more reactive. There was one morning when I had to puff him twice. I had to do a double, inhaler puff for him. I haven't done that since we first started him on asthma medication, like nearly 3 years ago. So that's just an indication as to how much he's picking up on things, So I think it is important that we almost like write a permission slip. We give ourselves permission to do things the way that we need to. So, I'm not having a tree this year, which has broken my heart a little because I love Christmas, but it always makes Leo cough more. There is a financial element to it. I didn't want to have to train baby Max when I'm already kind of quite stressed with a few other personal things. So, our Christmas looks very different this year, and it's about trying to enjoy the moments where I can, whereas before it's been like, Christmas is great. The build up to it's wonderful. I love it. It's amazing. And again, I'm like, oh, this year's not quite like that. Is that wrong? Is it wrong that I want to have quiet time, or I don't want to be around family, or I just want to be with my boys? And I think it is important that we all, this year, like Pam said, there are financial constraints. We all accept we are where we are. And actually, what can you be grateful for in that moment? It may not look how it has previously, or you may be feeling pressure from friends and family to be a certain way, to do certain things. And, you know, peeps, if you can't do it, don't do it. You know, we need to prioritize ourselves, because if we aren't healthy and well, we can't look after the cats. And, you know, it is that age-old adage of the I was going to say gas mask, but I mean oxygen mask on a plane, where, you know, if you don't put it on for yourself first, you can't help other people. And, you know, if you don't make it through this season as joyful as it's meant to be, your cats won't thank you for it. You know, you have to be there to do what you can for yourself and for them. So I hope I've not made it too serious for everyone, but you know, it's okay if you want to have a bit of a different Christmas. It's okay if you want to do things that aren't the norm or the conventional or the way society says that it should be. And I just thought, you know, maybe sometimes people need to kind of hear that it's okay to give themselves permission.
Yeah. In fact, I feel like I needed to hear that right now, to be honest. Like the holidays really start for us in October. And it's literally been since October that we have, like, on and off another stressful moment. The cats peeing everywhere around the house, as we talked about on the inappropriate elimination. It had been a week at that time. Then it started again with the next stressor. And we know that it's our stress that contributes to that. And in all honesty, it's not the pressure of the world on us. It's the pressure that we put on ourselves, that we need to show up, that we need to, you know, create content, that we need to do all the stuff and things that needs to be done, that we don't do well at giving ourselves a break.
Yeah, being overwhelmed by the shoulds, like you mentioned. I feel like you are chomping at the bit.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh. She's like, I'm totally zen now.
No.
I mean, I resonate so much with what everyone's saying. And it's funny, every year Christmas is a little bit different for us. And we haven't had a Christmas tree up for, I think it's like 2 years now. This is the first year, because last year we went to like Atlanta for, you know, visiting family, and there, you know, so we all went there. And so it's like, I'm not putting a tree up, you know, especially too, if I can't be at home to make sure these cats like don't topple the tree. Right. And so it's one of those things where this year, you know, I think I posted like a week ago, we were putting the tree up. Well, we put the tree up like 2 days ago, because we were, you know, once again, like so busy, and all the things that we're doing, you know, as, you know, especially running our own businesses. And it's like essentially just us, right? You know, end of year, so busy for all of us. And there was like, you'll laugh at this, because we put the tree up, right? We have a very big, it's a fake tree, but it's very tall because we have high ceilings down in our like front room. And none of our cats, I've never had a tree with them. And so I was like, this could go really poorly. Like, maybe. I'm positive. But we put it up, and they were like, okay, Moki, you know, he's never actually seen a Christmas tree, because he came to us as a kitten. We've never put one up. He had no idea, never been outside. Like, he literally was terrified of it. He was like sneaking like up, like, and I was like, dude, buddy, it's okay. Like, you know, and I just kind of sat there and just like let him like explore and things. You know, the other two were fine with it. They've probably been around Christmas trees, but, you know, or trees in the house. Tico is outside, you know, probably climbing trees and doing all the things. But like, I remember going downstairs. We have a, you know, treadmill downstairs. I'm running on the treadmill, and I was just like listening, because I could hear Moki walk on our floor, our hardwood floors. And I could hear the movement of him, because of his cerebellar hypoplasia. You can hear him when he's walking. And I was just listening to him go towards where the tree was. And I was just waiting to hear like a smash. I'm running, and I'm like, here we go. Like, you know, oh God, is it gonna like, and I was like, I had to like tell myself as I'm running on a treadmill, like, it's okay. Like, it'll be fine. I sat there with him. Like, he's most likely going to be okay. If he decides to climb, you know, I have faith he'll be okay. If something happens, like, you know, obviously you never know, but it's one of those things, like, this year is different, and we put the tree up. We're hosting Christmas. My family's coming up here for a couple days to stay with us too. And, you know, it changes. We're very lucky. I'm not having, knock on wood, inappropriate urination, or like the cats are doing really, really well. And it's always something though that's in the back of our minds, right? going into these like holidays, having family come over, are they going to love our cats the same as, you know, we do? Are they going to like still have their quiet space? We're going to have all the rooms filled that they normally sleep in, you know, like that's a thing. Like Moki will not have his little bedroom where he can go under the bed and, you know, hide. And so it's things that I'm thinking about here, and making sure that I'm taking time to like meditate in the morning, journal about it. So taking care of myself, and also creating a safe space where I can like de-stress from like a long day working and preparing for this. You know, I'm very grateful my family that's coming is, you know, pretty good with not creating a lot of stress and tension. So I'm not too worried about that. But it's, you know, these are things that all of us are thinking about. And to be honest, I've kind of doubled up on, like, I have CBD ready. I have, you know, natural products to help support with stress. Like flower essences are great options. So like there's so many tools that we have, and I have them ready. Like it doesn't necessarily mean I need to use them, but I have them ready. So I'm prepared if something's happening, that I already have the things. And now it's not a new stressor trying to get stuff delivered or find a store that's open at the 11th hour. So I think that can be really helpful too when we're prepared for something like this, like the herb gardens, you know, that Julie, those are amazing. And we're going to have them down in my office where the cats can go, you know, on the floor. My family can walk around them. Really Julie, they act by something. I don't know.
Sorry.
What was that?
Is there a fly in there?
Yes, it hit my head. I'm sorry. Carry on.
We couldn't. Like, is that the ghost
Christmas fly? So, but that's the thing. Like, just being prepared can make a world of a difference, and also alleviate a lot of the stress that we also put hard on ourselves because of like worrying about things, right? Yeah. And one of those things again that we do to ourselves. What's the worst case scenario? Let me think about it. And we start worrying and worrying and worrying rather than releasing that. Like, I got the things that I need to know. I'm prepared. And if something arises or I need to change course, like that's okay. That's life, right? Yeah. And you know, I think that's how we've gone into this holiday season. I mean, our holiday season started in Thanksgiving, where we traveled with family and just, you know, chaos essentially. And so it's just kind of, how can we bring as much normalcy to our lives as possible and routine for our cats, so that way they're not picking up on all this other stuff, and make sure I'm taking care of myself. That's key. Like everyone else can wait. I need to take care of myself first and foremost, just like Julianne said. Like that is key. And the shoulds, like throw them out the window. I hate like shoulds. If you're saying I should do this, just think about it. What am I saying should to, you know? And you know,
Aaron in the comments said, "Don't shit on yourself."
I was gonna, I love that.
Yep.
Really well done, though. I mean, everything that you guys just said, just so well said. You know, Julianne talking about giving yourself permission to really get to know where you're at. And you know what? Maybe I don't want decorations this year. I don't want the overwhelming pressure of being joyful when I'm not, but being honest, saying to family or friends, listen, it's just not feeling it right now. It's not you, right? And then Katie too, with like, I struggle with that of, you know, if there's something that I do want to do, and I'm thinking like, well, maybe I shouldn't because it'll stress the cats out. Instead of being, you know, either robbing yourself of your own quiet time and your own peace, or robbing yourself of actual joy that you want to participate in, preparing for it, realizing, all the house is going to be different. There's going to be people all over the house. We want to spend this time with family, but how can I prepare for that if it is potentially stressful for my cats? You know, being able to create that space and having the supplies ready so you don't have to go look for them if they are needed.
Yeah. And Dr. Katie, you also brought up the routine aspect. And I think that's really important when it comes to our cats. And I've noticed that like, that's one of the areas that during the holidays we fail at, right? Like we go out with friends and family, and we stay out late, and our cats don't eat their dinner until, you know, 10 o'clock at night versus, you know, their normal feeding time. And then we sleep in late and they don't get their breakfast, you know, like, so, and the playtime is not happening because, you know, we're running around and acting, you know, acting a fool.
we had a really good routine going when I was there, I think.
Oh
We
yeah.
did.
Mhm.
Well,
Yeah.
3 a.m.
Yeah, that was great.
Dinner time.
Our cats loved that. But no, but that's the thing is
Mhm.
that, Ohio State University did a study on routine in cats and how important it is, and how cats will actually even, the study showed that cats will actually even act sick. Like they will start showing symptoms
Mhm.
of illness if taken off their routines. And so it is one of those things that obviously give yourself permission. It's okay. Your cats aren't going to die if they eat, a few hours late. But if we can keep that routine as much as possible, then that will, and probably help us too. I don't know if you guys are like, if I get off routine, I'm everywhere. Right. And that's I think the most stressful part of the holidays for me.
Mhm.
I think it's about compromise. It's about what you want to do, what feels right for you, what you can give to other people. Your cats will adjust, but like you said, what can you do to manage their routine, their feeding habits, their safe spaces? It is a difficult time in the year in terms of it's different. It's different for us. Like you said, we always, people that we overindulge, we eat so much on Christmas Day. There's a lot of perhaps chocolate or alcohol or whatever it may be, and like you said, Jay, it makes you feel a bit crappy after a couple of days, so it's like great to do it, but what comes after? And I think understanding that it's happening and being gracious about that, taking the pressure off yourself, taking the pressure off your cats. And I do think one thing that you guys mentioned, communication, that is the key. So talk to your cats, tell them that people are coming, tell them that they're not staying, tell them that their space will still be safe, tell them that they can eat when they feel comfortable to, tell them that you will move things if they show you signs that they want to. So for example, like Leo, we fed under a blanket once or twice if people have come here previously in the year, because that's where he felt safe. Talk to them, tell them what's going on, and also communicate to your guests, to your families. If you've got people coming to the house, ask them to be respectful. For my house, it's please don't ring the doorbell because that shoots Leo straight out of the cat flap. Please just gently knock, and like for me, I've communicated to people, I need support. Things are different this year for me. I can't be with you all day. I can only manage half an hour. Communication with your cat, communication with your friends and your family. Like, even if you feel you can't always do it, just try a little, because it will make a big difference to have that support network for you and to then be able to give that support to your cat. Because I think when we're struggling or we're stressed, like our cats can feel it anyway, whether we try to hide it, we try to suck it down real deep inside or bury it at the bottom of our brains. They can feel it. They're energetic beings. And I know, Pam, you understand this. We've been energy practitioners, and I know the other ladies, you've seen it, you felt it with your cats. Like you can't hide your energy and your emotions from your cats. So don't try, let it out, share it, speak it out loud, put it in a message to a friend, whatever it may be, but get it out, peeps. What do you think, Pam?
No, I think it's also, I love what Katie said about journaling, because journaling is very powerful, and it is a way to get out what you have inside and just get it out. And then sometimes you can actually just rip out that piece of paper and go light a match and burn it. And just, it's that physical demonstration of letting it go and not holding on to it, and it's gone,
There's a Frozen song in there somewhere. I'm not going to sing it.
But yeah, it's I love that. And our cats do pick up on our stress. It's like I was just thinking, it's like they have that Superman has that X-ray vision. They have that X-ray sensory to be able to look straight through us, and they know, it's like, lady, don't even try to hide it from me.
Yeah.
I know you're full of crap. I know you're upset.
I have a question for you ladies then. How do you go about centering yourself to where you even understand what's going on as far as like what might be the stressor, right? To even let it out. Cause like me, I'm like one of those that my cats tell me when I'm stressed, because I think I have it all together in my head, but then all of a sudden I'm, showing signs.
At least
like
she listens to the cats.
Is an Adrian helping there?
Yeah.
She helps a lot. But what are some tips for the audience as far as like, centering yourself, pulling everything together so that you even like know what to release if there's something to release?
One of my go-tos is just spending some time in quiet space. Meditation, even if you don't meditate, just if you have to go into a closet and close the door to get away from everything, turn out the light and just sit in silence and just breathe, because if you can go inward and just find that quiet space, and you will, your mind doesn't necessarily shut down, but you may have all these thoughts that kind of come to you, but just kind of sit and just be quiet, find your breath, and just turn your focus inward, because that is when things start to reveal themselves to us. And it might be something you thought you had under control that you really don't have under control. And it just kind of jumps to the forethought, to the forefront, and you're like, oh, okay, I really need to take care. I need to address that. Maybe I'm taking on too much. It's okay to say no to some people so that you don't get over committed, and then you feel obligated, and then you feel stressed because you said yes. And so you have to honor yourself, and just really find that quiet time, away from all the distractions, because when you're in the middle of the hubbub and you're going and running in all these different directions, you're not going to be in a frame of mind to really identify what it is that is causing you the stress necessarily.
Good.
Yeah,
Very good point.
I'm like anti-silence.
Yeah, that's very-
One of the things that I found really helpful too, because I think Jay, like we talked about, very similar, like with just like go, 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 like brains always turning, always thinking. And one of the things that has changed dramatically in my life over the past few years is that morning routine. Like that is sacred. That is like not picking up the phone. The phone is on, like my phone's just on silent anyways, because I can't, no notifications. So that's why I take forever to respond to like group texts. But like, it's one of those things. Each morning I sit and I found the journals, and this is a personal preference, right? You have to find the thing that resonates with you. But I found a journal that has prompts, and it makes me like, for one, sit still and also process what I'm thinking and how I'm feeling. And it gets me organized, and it also just, it allows me to, like, I love what Pam said. That's so important. And another piece to that too is feeling. What am I feeling? Is my heart like racing? Do I just kind of feel agitated? And really connecting with that and being able to go, okay, I feel this way. What is triggering me? Like, what's causing me to get agitated? Okay, can I remove that, or can I change a system, right? And this is, of course, like running a business, it's always adapting. But also, too, if there are people, I've had to remove some people from my life because it wasn't helping me. And if I can't show up with the energy and the light and feel like vibrant, it's not helping them either, and it's not going to help the world. So that morning routine is something that like is so sacred to me. And when my routine is off, that's where I feel off. But that journal that comes with me when I travel, or if I'm outside of, the house, because it just goes in my backpack. And I literally make a cup of tea or have my cup of coffee, and I sit there, and it's silent. It's usually dark because I love the early mornings. And there's just this peace around you. No one's awake. No one's expecting a response from you. So I know it's like my time. But I have gotten a lot better at being like, where do I feel that agitation? Where do I feel calm? What do I need to shift and adjust, or that needs to go on the list? And it helps me because then I go, I have a plan. Because that's a big thing for me too, is like, if everything's not optimal, obviously it can't be perfect, but that can play a part for my stress. And I know that about myself. But if I'm analyzing it, assessing it, and like taking it in and being present, it makes it doable, and it helps me like with being able to move forward in my day and then get into like the busy, right? So that's definitely something that's helped me. And the other neat thing about this too, the cats are all there. They're all there because they're feeling that. They're not feeling my craziness and running around. I think, they all come in here probably just because they're trying to get me to like, have some more calm energy during my crazy days.
But that morning, they're there. They're on my lap. They're sitting behind me. Like they're sitting on the floor next to me. And it's beautiful. Like it's just an amazing energy and just such like I get goosebumps because it's my favorite part of the day. It's incredible.
That is really good advice. I need a morning routine. I need to get back to it.
You need to get back to it. And Erin dropped us a helpful hint for all of us, to all of us.
That's that book by Hale Elrod, I think it is, the author. That book right there is the book I took with me when we last visited New Zealand before I quit my job to start my business. And it was that book that literally kickstarted my morning like routine and changed my life.
Wow.
It's called Miracle Morning for those of you guys.
It's amazing. Easy read. Incredible.
Wow.
Ladies, there looks to be a spammer on YouTube. I don't know if you want to block them while we're talking. Good old sex find XYZ. I think Kate, what Katie and Pam mentioned are brilliant, and I use a lot of meditation and journaling when I'm in a good space, and again, I don't want to kind of bring it back to like the kind of darker side of it, but sometimes you can't figure out what you need. You can't figure out like that you need to do some of those things or that you've let them slip. Do you know what I mean? And I think like awareness underlines both of what you've said, what you've all said, like Jay, you joke, so I need a morning routine, awareness that you need to put something into practice. Pam said, journaling, and Katie about the prompts, because that you find that helpful. Knowing what works for you, I think, is really important. That awareness of I need, and then like fill in the blank, I need to do this. I want to bring in a new routine. I need a new journal. I need prompts to help me connect with myself. I need to do breath work. I need to meditate, whatever. I found recently that I normally meditate and I normally journal and it's all gone out the window because I've been dealing with other things and like in that spiral, as the topic is today, of anxiety. And, I find it the most important thing is to tell someone like I'm struggling, I can't see my way out of it. I can't figure out what to do. I don't want to, withdraw completely. Like I need help, basically, without saying those words, because I think a lot of humans, potentially women, not I'm trying to be sexist, but, we don't say those words often enough. Like I need help, because we struggle to say it. We don't want to say it. We should be strong, independent, whatever. And sometimes just, without using those words, just reaching out to people can make a huge difference. Like you don't know how much pressure it relieves until you do it. And sometimes there is worry and doubt and nervousness about reaching out and being honest and saying, look, I'm struggling, and just saying that, but the love that comes back to you is phenomenal. Like it takes your breath away when you realize those people that are in your corner that support you. So, I think when we realize that we need to change, that we want to be better, or that we need help, or that we're stuck or we're struggling, then you can take a step forward. Then you can be like, okay, do you know what? I am going to journal because I need to get out some of the thoughts that are just going round and round and round and round in my head. Or yes, do you know what? I'm going to meditate because I feel really disconnected from my body and my heart's racing and, I don't know how I'm feeling. So like Katie said with and Jay mentioned as well with the cats, and they show you, they are phenomenal teachers, our fur babies. Like they aren't just cats, they are souls in a body, that is just fur covered. And if we pay attention to what they're showing us, like, it can really help you to see that you need to take time out, that you need to pause, that you need to connect with yourself. Like I said, Leo with his coughing, right? For me, that's a really clear indication. But also baby Max becomes more destructive. Now, he's not really a destructive cat. He's really happy, really laid back, really easygoing. And a few mornings ago, he was just going and going and going, scratching at this carpet by the door. And it just tipped me over the edge. And I just burst into tears because it was like 4:00 in the morning. And I'm like, bud, like, come the beep on, like, come on, like, what are you playing at? And then that morning I had a really big snotty cry, and I'm like, do you know what? I actually do feel better. Thanks, baby Max. Like now what can I do from here? Right. Let's put another mat down. Let's change the carpet. And, you do change yourself if you allow yourself to be guided by your cat. If we give ourselves the opportunity to connect with ourselves, do those tools that we may need or may have lost. If you don't know any of that, go to your cats, see what they're showing you, see what they're inspiring you to do. What emotions are they bringing up on you? How are they making you feel? Because even that in itself, I think, can be a good indication as to, how to deal with your anxiety or how to deal with yourself.
That's perfect.
Yeah, there's actually another scientific study showing that cats reduce, specifically in women, that cats reduce the risk of disease because they reduce stress in females is the study. And I'm like, yeah, maybe that's why we all have cats.
There's also what's fascinating too is the cat's purr. The frequency is the right way to heal like a fractured bone.
Mm-hmm. Isn't
like
that
it's so healing? Like it's So cats, they're phenomenal. Like their energy, the souls in a beautiful little soft furry body, right? But in it, they are our biggest teachers when we listen to it, and it's that's what I've loved working alongside a lot of Julianne and Pam, and like learning from Jay and Adrian too. Like we're all come to this with different things, and just being able to communicate better with my cats through like Julianne's Talk to Kiwi for me, and it was eye-opening, and it made me more aware of what I was doing so I could change my behaviors because of it. And it helped me, and it it helps her, and it's still, that's the thing, like we're every single day, like it's a work in progress, and that's life. And I always talk about the journey, right? The journey where when we look back and we're like, I wish I had done that. I wish I knew that. No, it's a lesson. It's a lesson. And are we listening to those lessons? And are we tweaking and adjusting as we go? Because life can be full of hard lessons, but what do we do with it? And being more present with these guys and just being aware of it, especially through the holiday season, and we can help them. They can help us get through these really stressful times too, when we're more present and aware of how powerful like their healing powers truly are.
Yeah, I feel like cats really have that. It's kind of like a grounding energy, right? Like we lie to our cats, they read us, and our cats are always sharing. If we are listening, they're always sharing something about who they are. And I think that's where it is, the holidays really kind of bring a lot of things to a head, but the comment kind of flew by. But I love Mr. Rob Milligan's comment about, whether it is just us being honest with ourselves or whether it is like craziness in the holidays, that trying to keep certain elements of normalcy, like he likes to sink into the womb of his lazy boy and read, and giving his cat something like normal, like this is a normal, even in the midst of crazy holiday storm, although they can weather any storm with some bacon. I think that's true for me too. But I think, like Julianne said, it's the awareness, and it is us realizing that we can't just flip out and be stressed about something without it affecting our cats. And so just having that awareness and being considerate really helps keep things grounded and honest and less stressful for the entire home.
Completely.
Yeah. And Aaron said cats and wine cure many things.
I totally agree with that.
I love you.
I do too. I do too. So anyone else, do you guys have any other tips? We've gone through routine, we've gone through talking, communicating, helping ourselves be centered personally, but maybe specifically for our cats. Do you guys have any final tips on how to help our cats and ourselves be less stressed during the holidays?
Can I kick this one off with, I think, the importance of all the stuff, like whether it's taking some time in the morning, wherever it is, but being aware of the fact that taking time to prioritize things before the hurricane of the holidays comes, whether that is taking time to go for a walk, whether that is, listening to music or meditation or whatever it is, making a conscious commitment to that, though, knowing that it's going to help keep us honest and centered and de-stressed. So the power of prioritizing that commitment, I think, is, speaking it is important.
And exercise. I mean, exercise for us, exercise for our cats, because that they love to play, and so we can make this holiday season fun for them with all the paper and the new stuff and the boxes and pull those elements into their play sessions and let them get a little, exercise and work off some of their anxiety if they have that, or some of their frustration because of the people in the house that they're not used to, and all of these kind of things. But I think just staying aware, observing them and not forgetting to, like you said, honor the fact that they're here to teach us. And I was listening to a really, really good video by Dolores Cannon yesterday, and she just reminds me, we're here in this life to learn lessons that we signed up to come and learn. And some of those lessons are hard, and they're about experiences. And if we don't get the lesson the first time, it keeps coming back around and around and around. So if you find yourself facing the same type of struggle or frustration every time, holidays come around, maybe it's a good time to sit and go, okay, what am I supposed to learn from this? Maybe my approach needs to be shifted. What can I do differently to get a better outcome, or the outcome that I want, not the outcome that I'm getting, So it's about that, like you said, it's about that awareness, and just being open. A lot of times people are just like, well, I always do it this way. Well, maybe that's not the way we should. Maybe it's time to expand our horizons a little bit and say, okay, what could I try instead? I think it's about being open,
Yeah.
Cats are here to teach us something. So it's up to us to learn those lessons, or they're going to keep teaching until we figure it out.
I love
Yep.
So totally. I mean, I think, like, when it comes to Christmas and anxiety for us, and we've talked a bit about what the humans can do, like you said, like, what can we do for the cats? So understand their individual needs. So like Pam, you mentioned there about paper, make it fun, get them involved. Leo is terrified. As soon as one present is open, he is gone. He is hiding. He has run away, and like the sound of crinkle paper, like, just it really triggers him. So, understanding like your individual cat needs, I think, is important. Do they want to get involved? Great. Have fun with them. Be curious with them. If they're hesitant, create hidey hole spaces. Don't block off. I'm not somebody that believes in, blocking up their spaces so that they've got to be out with the family. That's not the way I practice my behavior work. Your cat needs to do whatever they need to do to feel safe. So if they need to be in a dark space, give them a dark space. If they need to be up high, give them access to up high. Forcing them to deal with the stress and anxiety, you're going to have problems later down the line. I would not advocate doing that. Understand what they need to cope. You may have a glass of wine or a bit of chocolate. They need a dark space or a height. So give them that, like we said, talk to the family. If you've got young people potentially coming to the house, educate them. The cats are nervous, or let the cat sniff your hand, or let the cat come to you. Have fun teaching the youngsters how to engage with animals, teaching them respect of animals, And then I guess my last thought would be, like, as is always for me, which is herbs, I couldn't do a session without my herbs, is putting down a herb garden. So, particularly over Christmas, one of the rooms I'd probably say would be like your bedroom would be the best place to put it. Your scent is concentrated. The cat will feel safe and secure. Get a lovely towel or blanket, get some dried herbs. So like dried valerian root, probably chamomile, I would say, rosebuds, make sure they're organic, and probably something like lavender or calendula, like marigold, something that helps the cat to deal with their stress and anxiety. They may rub and roll around on it, they may just sit on it. But the beauty of them being, dried herbs and flowers means that they're safe. If the cat ingests it, that's because they need to. It's safe. Even lavender is safe if you give the cat the choice. Give them the option to work with the herbs if they want to. And it's a great emotional coping mechanism. It's a great way for them to take themselves away from people, to work with something that has, calmative properties, and gives them the opportunity to deal with their heart rate, their stress and anxiety. So that would be my top tips.
I love that.
I love it.
What about you, my love?
Well, I love everything that you said, and it goes right along with what we recommend too. Or it's here's the thing, like the movement thing is a big piece and it's fun. Like I've really enjoyed like incorporating new toys. Like I do have to give a shout out to the two crazy cat ladies for their new toys.
Freaking crazy.
Cats love them. Like they're freaking awesome. You know, I think we've lost a few that have gone under, like, because they just shove them under, you know, the couch and stuff. I'm trying to like find where some of these went, but then they'll appear and they'll just be carrying it around, and they love the little snake thing. So it's, you know, the nice thing is using those different tools to help them, and it's us. Like I get so much joy watching my cats. Moki, he plays fetch. Like, what the heck? Like, it's the coolest thing ever. And so, like, doing that and engaging with them and participating and getting them moving. And then, you know, the other thing, exactly like what Julianne said, our cats are so different, the three of them. They are all so different, just like we're all different. We all have different personalities and enjoy different things. And so I know that, you know, some of them prefer to be away in a quiet area. So I make sure I have those spaces. We have high places, low places, you know. I love how Julianne says hidey holes, you know, bush cat, or, you know, what type of cat are they? Do they prefer to be up high and climb and watch, or do they prefer to be down low and hide? And the other thing for this too is, no, what's going on now?
Jack.
I just said, did she say bush cat?
That's what I was laughing at.
It might be the last thing I say. I'm watching my energy bar on the like, 6%. So if I just here, I might be with my bush cat. Okay. It was a bush cat. Like,
and maybe that's the best tip of all is to find laughter somewhere. However,
that's the thing, right? That is so true. Like there are so many times in my day, like that is something where I've like the greatest blessing and that I've like learned in the past few years is like sometimes things are just so crazy you have to laugh, and it just makes you feel better. You're like, holy hell, I can't believe that just happened. And you're like, oh, I don't know. Like, well, right? Like I'm about to lose power. Oh, well, I'll be back on my phone maybe. I don't know. Screen. But like that's the thing, like watching your cats play, watching them engage, like, you know, educating our family. I love the fact about, you know, teaching kids how to interact properly with cats, especially, and with dogs too. I think that is such an important life lesson that so many people don't have. And it scares the animals, and that's why they like bite or they scratch, because we didn't engage with them properly. It's not their fault. We just didn't do it right. And so I think, you know, with this Christmas holiday season, like it's always about the one thing, like what one thing can you change or adjust right now before we get to, you know, this weekend, before like the family comes or relatives or friends and it gets a bit crazy. What's the one thing you can focus on? Like maybe it is the herb garden, herbs, the super, you know, valerian's like incredible. If that's the only thing that you have, put it down and see what your cats do. You know, if it's like you go and get a cat tower, or you use one of your Amazon boxes and you cut a hole, like that is Tico's favorite hidey hole. Like he goes right in it. Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, what is the one thing that you can adjust? Maybe it's the 10 minutes in the morning playing with them, you know, like incorporate that, make sure we have that routine down, you know. It's like make that promise to yourself and it'll make a huge difference. Just one thing that doesn't seem huge, and it'll make a huge difference to how you get through the holiday season. And then, you know, you can build from there, you know. So I love everything that everyone said, and I'm surprised I'm still here live, to be honest. It's at 4% now.
Maybe we got some extra energy from the bush cat. I don't know.
I don't know where the bush cat is right now. Actually, he's probably in the bush downstairs. Right?
Oh my goodness, ladies! Thank you guys so much for joining us for this very special holiday episode.
Thank you to everyone that has joined us, and it really, I mean, I think that this is just such I love keeping it real all the time. And I think, you know, those of us that are hyped up on joy are, you know, sometimes maybe we need to be reminded to pay attention to our cats' individual personalities and make sure they're handling everything okay. And those of us that are having a hard time this season, they need to hear that that's okay. And to be honest, and I think that I just love you guys so much for always sharing so much good stuff with all of us. So
Yes.
thank you.
So thank you guys so much. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas.
Merry
Happy
Christmas.
New Year.
Merry every holiday.
Merry
So we
every
can
day.
celebrate.
We love you guys so much, and we will see you soon. Oh, tonight on Instagram and Facebook. We love you guys. Mwah. Bye, guys.
Love you.
Wait, we're not on Facebook tonight, are we?
I don't know.